I'm glad to be here. I feel like I need to get out more. Like, I think I'm too antisocial. I think the reason I'm antisocial is I'm just not very confident. And I think the reason I lack confidence is because I was an altar boy and a Boy Scout and no one ever touched me. Like, I was in the woods alone with someone who turned out to be a vicious predator and we just made fires together. That's all we did. He showed me how to tie knots, but I wasn't in any of them, you know? Like, both the priests I was an altar server for went to jail, which means every Sunday they were just looking at me like, nah. I don't know. I have things that should help me be confident. Like, I'm 6'3", and when you think 6'3", most people think, like, cool, strapping, confident. But I'm just failing at a high altitude, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm very awkward. I had an awkward encounter recently where a girl thought she caught me staring, and she said, hey, my eyes are up here. Which is a crazy thing to say to me, because, like, I'm autistic. I don't look anyone in the eyes. Like, I had to explain to her, not only am I not going to make eye contact, I wasn't even looking at her boobs. I was just adding all the numbers on her t-shirt to see if they divisible by 9. Like, I don't know, I've never been, like, formally tested for autism, but, like, Peter Dinklage has been formally tested for dwarfism, you know? Like you could eyeball some stuff. I don't know, I just think weird thoughts, like daylight savings is my favorite holiday, because it's always been my dream to hook up with a girl right when the clock turns, and brag to my friends I lasted an hour and 20 seconds. Just weird thoughts, like I love using urinals that go all the way to the ground, because I think it looks like their jaw dropped when I saw my penis. Just weird thoughts, like you guys think Sesame Street was a bad neighborhood before the Muppets gentrified it? The Muppets give me gentrifier vibes. They're all in the musical theater, none of them have real jobs, you know? And there's no black Muppets, you know? Even the ones who are dark probably don't identify that way. They're probably like OJ, where it's like, I'm not black, I'm gonzo, you know? I don't know. Watching the news a lot. Anyone here watched the Jeffrey Dahmer TV show that was on Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw in the news, but people are mad because Netflix puts all their shows into categories. And the category they put Dahmer into was LGBTQ. So yeah, I get being offended by that. I was more offended they put it in food and travel, to be honest. A lot of crazy stuff in the news. Like, do you guys see it's the 25th anniversary of Columbine this spring? Yeah, 25 years, which makes you think, are they gonna have like a class reunion? You know, like, all the kids, well not all the kids, most of the kids from Columbine come home. In a lot of ways, it might be better than most reunions because there's no shot you're going to run into an old bully, you know? I don't know. The news is weird. Like, anyone else find it weird that weed and abortion switched places?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be if you wanted weed, you had to go to a back alley and get it illegally. And if you wanted abortion, you went to the doctor. But then they swapped, you know? I guess what I'm getting at is I have a friend who's a burnout weed dealer who used to sell out of his mom's basement. And now all his business dried up because the dispensary opened. I'm like, dude, maybe you gotta pick up a coat hanger, you know? You gotta pivot. You gotta use a vacuum for the first time in your life. I don't know. I don't know. Healthcare is messed up. I'll tell you how bad healthcare in America is. I have this friend who she's diabetic. She's diabetic, and in order to afford insulin, she had to start an OnlyFans. Yeah, she's selling feet pics to treat her diabetes. It's a real use it or lose it situation. I mean, can you imagine healthcare being so messed up you need a blood sugar daddy? It's ridiculous. It used to be she just got pricks in her fingers, now they're all holes. It's really terrible. I don't know. All my friends are really going through it right now. Like, I have a friend who recently came out as transgender, and they have it rough because they live in, like, rural Pennsylvania. So they have to deal with a lot of transphobic rednecks, which is always weird. Like, I never got transphobic rednecks, because, like, could you imagine being told you can't be something else by a dude who's dressed up like the Woods? Like, there are dudes in my town who are like, they're never going to be a real woman. I'm like, you're never going to be a tree, Dale. Let them do their thing. Just calm down. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like people my age are just used to everything being awful. Like, we grew up with school shootings happening when we were in school. Like, when I was a kid, everyone was afraid of school shootings. Everyone in my class was afraid of a mass shooting. I was the only kid in my whole school who was not afraid of a school shooting, because I was the one everyone else thought was going to do it. I looked like such a mass shooter when I was in high school. They didn't want me to take part in the drills, because they didn't want me to know we were going to be hiding. My teacher would be like, okay, everyone get in your positions except for Brendan, you know? You wait in the hall. It's where you're going to be anyway, so. So dating's hard. I don't know, I'm on all the, well, I'm not on all the dating apps anymore. I got kicked off Black People Meet. That was unfortunate. They never specify who the black people are meeting. Why can't it be me, you know? But I'm on Tinder, and Tinder sucks because every girl's like, I want to be a trophy wife. Make me a trophy wife. And I don't even think I'm going to get like a participation trophy wife. Like, I only ever matched with another good thing with one girl on Tinder, but on her profile she said, I don't want to meet anyone I meet on the app face to face. And we were like talking and texting every day. Eventually I asked her what that was about, and eventually she opened up and she's like, listen, the reason I don't like meeting guys is because I have cancer. I have lymphoma, I'm a cancer patient, and when guys find out, it freaks them out. And you know, she told me that. She told me she had cancer, but I didn't care, because I wasn't looking for anything long-term at the time. I mean, eventually she ghosted me, so hopefully she died, but... No, I'm just kidding. You could tell that story's not true because I talked to a girl in it, but... Like, I don't know, I'm at a weird place. I'm at a weird place with my physique where, like, I don't look strong enough for women to be attracted to me, but I do look strong enough for them to be afraid of me. Like, if a woman saw me in a pool, she'd be like, look at Tubby over here, but if she saw me in an alley, she'd be like, that's a dangerous man right there. I don't know, so I have a new strategy where anytime a woman, I feel like I'm intimidating a woman, I'm just going to get down and try to do a push-up. I'm just going to get into a wobbly plank, lower myself, and then just eventually collapse, you know? I don't know, I'm very lame. Like, I have this friend who's spiritual. They're into like sage and crystals, and recently they were telling me about the ancestors. They think our ancestors watch over and can talk to us, which is cool for them, but I could never talk to my ancestors because they worked in mills and factories and coal mines, and I do DoorDash. So my ancestors would just be talking to me. Like, I worked 16 hours in a dark pit. I stormed Normandy, and I'd be like, I drove a cookie 20 miles today. I don't know. I feel like older generations are cooler. I feel like older generations are also like more optimistic. Like, my dad's even like optimistic about like the apocalypse. Like, he watches all these post-apocalyptic shows, and they always talk about how he would survive. And recently he was watching a show about nuclear war. He's like, Brendan, what would you do? What would you do in a nuclear war? Like, if Brendan, they dropped a bomb, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know, die? I'm not gonna become the road warrior in a Hyundai Elantra. It's not gonna happen. Plus, like, I feel like if you tell a Gen Z or millennial the world's gonna end, we're just gonna be relieved, you know? Like, I wasn't gonna make rent this month. This would actually kind of help me, you know? I don't know. But my dad's always in like post-apocalyptic prepper mode. I remember when COVID happened, he was freaking out. He's like, I'm buying toilet paper, I'm stockpiling this and that. And on one of the calls, he said, Brendan, can I get rid of your Scooby-Doo blankets? And I'm like, sure, I got new bed sheets at college, I was like, bring them back. But what I didn't realize is he had a friend who was a seamstress, and he had to make masks out of all my Scooby-Doo stuff. And all my friends and family were like wearing cool Scooby-Doo masks with Mystery Machine designs. They were getting compliments. And that sounds sweet, that sounds nice, but here's the thing, those are my bed sheets from high school. Oh, no. So I just got home my entire family just wearing my puberty all over their face, just inhaling it. And like, I know they washed it, but I'll always know. I'll always know, and I would have preferred if they just caught COVID, you know? I don't know, some of you guys might have noticed I talk a little different. I have a speech impediment. I went to speech therapy, but you could tell it didn't work with the way I pronounce speech therapy. I went to speech therapy for 9 years. Every year I got an F. And not a lot of people notice when you get an F in speech therapy, it's actually spelled TH. But it sucks. It sucks being pigeonholed, because you gotta acknowledge it on stage, but you don't want to be pigeonholed either. Like, I have this friend who's in a wheelchair, and he used to do a bunch of great wheelchair jokes. But then he told me he's not doing them anymore. He says he doesn't want to be known as the wheelchair guy. And I'm like, I don't think that's up to you, buddy. I don't think that would have been up to Jesus. I don't know. I think both of us just got to roll with what we got, in your case, literally. But it sucks. It sucks. A lot of people, they try to comfort me. They say, Brendan, you don't sound like you have a speech impediment. You just sound like you have an accent. Like, people say I sound like I'm from Boston. Which that used to make me feel better until I visited that city. And now I realize that's not a compliment towards me. That's just an insult towards Boston. That's just a way of saying everyone in that town sounds disabled. It's not... That's like if you went up to a midget and you're like, you don't look like you're a midget, you just look like you're from Loompa Land. Like, that doesn't make me feel better, you know? I think the worst part is there's not even cool stereotypes. Like, other groups of cool stereotypes, they balance out bad ones. Like, autistic people are being good at bass, black people have big penises, white people have credit. Like, there's cool stereotypes. So I've been trying to start one that dudes with speech impediments are really good at eating girls out. So guys, just help me out, join the movement, spread this around. Next time you see someone getting bullied over the way they talk, be like, no, their tongues are meant for better things. Okay, I'm Brandon Smith. Have a good night.